Odie, do you think it's important to clearly express to your child, especially a young man growing up, that he is only to be attracted to women as something that's a clear black and white signal and action or value for him to have as a young man?
I disagree with that completely. Completely. The reason why I disagree with it is because it causes a number of health outcomes that are not beneficial for that child at all. At all. See, here's the thing. People believe that you can teach somebody how to be gay. People believe that you can teach somebody how to be homosexual. That's been proven time and time again that you cannot. You cannot teach somebody how to be gay. Brother, if I say to you, oh, it's cool to go fuck dudes, and then you just gonna go fuck a dude, that means that you always wanted to fuck that dude. Right? It ain't no way that you can sit up here and tell me it ain't, bro. There's no way that you can teach somebody how to be gay. If that were the case,
you a therapist, bro?
Of course, we can run down the data.
Well, sometimes
there's no way that you can teach somebody how to be gay. It's been proven time and time again. That's one, but also two. That's the reason why conversion camps don't work. That's the reason why when people send their kids to these camps to teach them how to be straight, where they get this electroconvulsion therapy, where they get beat, where they get abused. That's the reason why these kids are jumping off of buildings. That's the reason why these kids are killing themselves. It's not because they're confused. It's because somebody's attempting to teach them what it is that they know that they're not. You can't teach somebody how to be straight. You can't teach somebody how to be gay.
So wait a minute. Are you telling me that you are not directly influenced by the environment that you are raised in, the culture that you subject yourself to? Let me put it to you this way. Mm-hmm. Is it a fair assessment to say that a lot of people that wind up saying that they're gay, right, that they have trauma or something that happened to them when they were younger that also impacted how they see sex and how they see people and how it is that they relate to the opposite sex?
That would not be a fair assessment. That would not be a fair assessment. There's no correlation to that. Right.
There's no direct correlation to the idea that something happens to somebody.
Let me restate myself. There is no statistically significant correlation between somebody being abused, somebody being molested, and them turning out gay. If that were the case, there would be a lot more gay men. A lot more.
There are a lot of gay men. There's a lot of gay men.
I said a lot more. Because what happens in these homes, what happens in these churches, what happens in these rooms is that both boys and girls get molested. Both boys and girls get sexually assaulted. So if that's the case, why are there not more gay women?
Let me ask you this, guys.
This is crazy.
Guys, I want to ask you this. Is it and we can start with you, Anton, and then move to Crump and Odie. But is it fair if a woman says, hey, you know what? If a man has ever had sexual relationships with a man, I would never date that man. He can never be an option. Is that fair for a woman to say that?
Absolutely. 100%. I believe that everybody has the right to have preferences. Now, whether or not you can get whatever it is that you prefer is a completely different conversation. But 100% it is within a woman's rights, and it is absolutely fair for a woman to say that if a guy has ever done something sexually with a man, that I don't want to be a part of that situation. And I support it. If a woman said that, I would 100% back her up, be in her corner. Then there's nothing that you can say to me that would ever get me to change my mind as far as supporting what she says and what her preferences are. 100%. And I don't think that she should, because I believe that if a man is engaging sexually with another man, then he's gay. 100%. You can remix it. You can say bye. You can throw a bunch of letters on it. LBGT, ABCD, EFG. You can throw whatever it is that you want on it. But if you let another man in any way, shape, or form, and you volunteer to touch a man's Johnson, or he touched yours, or you rubbed up against another dude's butt, you are 100%, in my personal opinion, you are gay. And it's okay for a woman to say, I ain't messing with him. Real talk. That's where I stand on it.
Odie, go ahead.
So what I'm hearing is that, one, Anton, just a quick question. So if your daughter were to come to you and say that she was a lesbian, how would you respond?
What do you mean? She would never do that. She would never do that.
Wow.
She would never do that. I set the standard. We put it in them when they're young. And she absolutely would never, ever come to me and say that.
No,
so I don't play I don't play hypotheticals. at all. And as a matter of fact, let me help you to understand something. If let's just entertain it for the sake of conversation. I didn't do my job as a parent. Either that or I did do my job as a parent and I need to let her go. I will never go against whatever it is that the word of God says. Absolutely not. I will never, ever. I will disown you in 5 seconds. 100%. As long as you are under my roof, you're going to do what it is that I say. Now, when you decide to leave out there and go on your own, then that's a completely different conversation. But I will never support anything demonic inside of my household, especially when it comes to doing the things that I think is absolutely going against the word of God.
Yeah, again, I think we're hijacking. Like, it's going back to having something before the first thing is done. Like, we're skipping steps again. Like, I think about, let's go back to what you were talking about with the masculinity of our boys and how the world is influencing and things of that nature. My son has a rites of passage this summer, right? He turns 15. He goes through a rites of passage, but he got some preliminary steps. And we talk about the 4 male archetypes, right? The king, the warrior, the magician, the lover, and the mature masculine way that that's carried out. So me and my family were going on a weekend trip with men to like cut the emotional umbilical cord for his mom. He's going to step into his manhood. My son has been preparing for this his whole life. My daughter did hers for her 15th birthday, right? She did her rites of passage called the Anton experience, when we integrate her South African culture, her Bermudan culture, American culture. And so my son will be doing a similar thing on Bermuda this summer. Because that is how he grew up, right? He is ready to be a mature masculine man. He wants to that he doesn't know anything else, including like John said, the word of God. Like it really determines like how you groom children. Like you can groom children, and I've been on my post. I've been on my post strong their entire life to make sure they was walking in, feeling in their position. Because me choosing to be a masculine man to their mother, that's not me. What a flex. What a flex. I'm jealous.
I see that little flex.
Now.
You're not slick, Anton.
What he doing?
Y'all never seen my, come here. Say hi to the people real quick.
This is social proof.
Oh wow!
Hey, excuse me, wife. Are you happy? Are you happy, or are you sad with that dictatorship over there?
I am extremely happy.
Oh,
okay, satisfied wife. That is one satisfied wife that just dropped her testimony. We love that.
So what I was getting at is with my son, I asked my children, "Do you think I married your mother because I love her?" And they was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "No, I married her out of choice. I married a black woman out of choice. I married because that's the right thing to do for us to build a family that we're trying to have together." I thought about procreation. I thought about longevity. I thought about the next 100 years. And she was a woman who was prepared to be a wife to play the long game, not just somebody who wants to be a dope female, but somebody who wants to be a wife and wanted to serve and support collectively what we got to do. So taking this like, but does she not, does all the sexual things I like taking the lust out? Because once you start adding these other things, now you're adding in people's lust preferences. And that goes into another world. But when you make it a conscious choice that I got feelings, that I got all of this, but what's best for us in this family is for us to make this choice to move forward for our legacy as a family. And so I just wanted to put that there, that I do have that conversation with my children.
Understood.
Incredible. And guys, I actually dropped a poll too. Can a man still be masculine and wear nail polish or have feminine mannerisms? 90%. We got close to 600 votes right here. 90% of people say absolutely not.
Interesting. I mean, I agree. But here's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, the nail polish. Yeah,
so listen,
just
y'all, I want y'all to come backstage here because again, I want to have the conversation. I want to bring you guys up on sexuality, whether or not you should be teaching your kids the correct sexuality, making it very black and white in your household. Because if I'm not mistaken, and while this is being, while they coming in here and everybody's coming backstage, I also want to just kind of get an idea from yourself, Odie, because I want also people to have an understanding of what the other side looks like. Because I think most of us grew up in a household like that. If you don't teach your child that this is what they should and should not do, as far as a boy, you only like girls, like this is what it is. You're gonna marry a girl. You're gonna like if you don't make it that plain, what is the other option?
When you say what is the other option, what do you mean?
How
Like,
do you
how
just
else-
not talk about it at all? Do I just
Oh,
avoid that conversation as a parent, or do I have a different kind of conversation with them?
So you have a different kind of conversation with them, right? In my mind, the conversation is inclusive, right? So it's not all of this, that's demonic, that's this, that's just how other people live their lives. If your conversation is based upon how it is that you want your child to engage, that's completely and totally fine. But the boundary becomes making other people's lifestyle choices or making other people the way that it is that they engage, whether it be demonic, whether it be all of this other stuff, that's unnecessary, completely and totally unnecessary. That does not have to be a part of the conversation, right? If somebody comes to you and says, yo, this is what I saw, this is what I learned, that's how they live their lives. That's what they do. Now, that's not necessarily what it is that we believe in this house, but what it is that they do is how it is that they do it. That does not make them any lesser people. That does not make them any more of a, how you say, a demonic person. Like, nah, I don't believe that. G.
But why would you, Odie? Why would you present those other options to your kids though? Why would you present them if that's not how you operate? Why would you present these other options?
Whoa. So you're asking me personally, if my child comes to me and says, Dad, I think I might be feeling X, Y, Z, and A, B, and C, I'm going to walk him or her through this conversation about what it is that they're feeling. Why are you feeling this way? How did you come to this realization? Are you sure that it's not something that you saw externally, or is it something that you feel internally? How did you come to this conclusion? Right? I'm not in the space of making my child believe that what it is that they feel internally is quote unquote incorrect, especially as it comes down to the way that it is that they feel as if though they're attracted to somebody, or how it is that they're navigating through their attraction. Because once again, if my job as a parent and if my job as a father is to make sure that my child grows in such a way where it's most beneficial for them at the time that they engage, then I'm not going to tell my child something along the lines of what it is that you're feeling is demonic. Because we already have statistics around that. We already have health outcomes around that. It increases anxiety. It increases depression. It increases suicidal ideation. It increases homelessness. It increases aggression. It already increases all of these things. So why would I contribute to that?
But see,
All right, check it out. We're gonna bring the initiates up because I want to get the people's feedback on this one here. I'm straight up asking the question: should sexuality be taught at home? I'm bringing Joyelle up on the stage. Joyelle, I hope you're ready to speak. Lionel, help me out. Let's go.
Yeah, we got to bring some
Joyelle.
ladies in.
We got to bring some. We can need some feminine energy here. Joyelle's on the stage. Lionel, I want you to bring Joyelle up so we can see.
We got to ask her a test question first.
What up, Joyelle? How you
So
living?
yeah, what's popping?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you guys?
Go ahead.
Good.
I'm blessed. Go ahead. Give me your age, your location. We added this one in last show, and your relationship status.
And pop quiz. Who should lead the relationship, man or woman?
Hold on. Hold on. That's two
man.
questions.
No, because we're gonna hang up on it if it's anything else. Okay.
But go ahead. Give me that.
I'm 49.
Yes.
I'm calling from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm currently single.
Got it. Okay.
The man should lead the relationship.
Okay.
Cashville.
What about this sexuality? Will you be teaching sexuality at home?
My son is 24, and I definitely taught sexuality at home. That doesn't mean teaching him how to be sexual, but that meant me teaching him, okay, you have a penis, women have vaginas, women carry babies, and he needed to know these things emphatically before I sent him off to daycare.
And when I say sexuality, just to be clear, that whether or not he should be heterosexual, did you make it very clear that he is only to be heterosexual in your household?
I don't think I made it very clear, but his dad was in the house. So I think it was just naturally what he saw. He saw me in a feminine role as his mother. He saw his dad in a masculine role as his father. So I think that kids imitate and mimic what they see naturally. So I don't think it necessarily has to be taught. It's just about what they see, what they're exposed to, that I think really influences which direction they may go in. I never supplied him with Barbie dolls, and I'll tell you that. So I did try to influence, like with toys, but he naturally gravitated towards trucks and more masculine toys. I never dressed him in pink. Like, who does that? So I believe that parents can definitely influence by what they're doing to their children and how they are carrying on just on a day-to-day basis. But no, I didn't tell him, oh, you need to be heterosexual, or, you need to be this way. But I showed him through example. His dad showed him through example.
Thank you very much. We're gonna get to some other initiatives. Thank you so much for coming on here. Okay.
Yep, and initiatives. Make sure you have your turn your camera on, because that's how I'm gonna know you serious about being in the studio. We only got limited spots in the studio, guys. So please turn your cameras on. We'll bring you up.
Please be brief and brilliant, because I want to bring a few initiates on. All right, we asking here: are you to teach your kid's sexuality at home? I got Street Media TV. Welcome to the show, brother. What's popping with you? You on mute, brother. You on mute. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, my bad.
What's up with you, brother? Go ahead, give us your age, your location, and your status.
Well, I've been married 20 years. Location Philadelphia. I'm 48. All of that stuff should be taught at home, by the parents. I mean, it goes without question, but the parents have to be aligned right, and they have to be living right in order to actually teach the children the right way. So I just think that listening to this conversation, I agree with Anton, but the problem that people like me and Anton run into is we're considered dinosaurs today, being traditional. We're dinosaurs.
I'll be a dinosaur. I'm cool with that, because I teach that all day long. And the most important thing for me, though, is that I don't just teach sexuality. I teach morality. I teach the ethics. I teach the Bible. We go to school together. We learn homework. I'm at parent-teacher conferences. I participate. I made sure that her mother didn't have to go to work in order for her to be able to not go to daycare or be a latchkey kid, to where she then get morals and values based off of what somebody else is teaching them. I teach that you can't have sex before marriage. I teach that you have to respect everybody. The women in our family and the daughters are raised to serve every man at the dinner table, including for holidays. And then the men are taught a certain thing, and that we got to go ahead and take care of business before women even get there, to ensure that the place is suitable enough for them to be able to do what they do. So I'm cool with being a dinosaur. I don't want to be of the world. I believe that the majority of these people are going to bust hell wide open. And so I'm cool with standing on the idea that I'm going to move as a dinosaur, and I'm going to let y'all go ahead and have the rest of each other, and y'all can figure it out together.
Hold on, Anton, let me let Street Media TV finish so we can get to the next initiative. Street Media, close out really quickly for me, brother.
Oh, shoot. All right. Well, I'll just say this. A lot of people come and say that they want traditional and they want this until it's actually time to do the work. Relationships is not something that's promised to you like life or death. It's something you got to fight for. Everything that Anton said, people say that they want that, but when you got to actually do the day-to-day work of being a parent, being a husband or a wife, and people don't want to do that work because it takes work. What Anton is saying, doing the actual work of what he's saying takes a whole lot. And I just landed here. The homosexual topic with the child. I'm super old school, but
so you teaching it at the house.
I'm teaching it at the house, but I will say this. I will say that some children are born that way. You can see it. I can see it. You literally can. I've seen it in my nephew. So, and you can't. I'll say now, I'm done here. I've learned in my years that some children, you can't ungay them. They who they are. It's
okay.
Nothing you can do about it. You can't pray it out of them.
Oh, wow. Okay. Look, appreciate Street Media TV. Thank you so much for coming up, brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Welcome back.
And this is going to be the last one I want to hear real quick before we go to the next one here. It looked like we got Kendra up in here. We bringing a lady up on this joint. Kendra, what's popping with you? Want to hear from the sisters.
I had my camera off. I'm a little under the weather, but y'all gonna make me put my face on here. It's okay.
It's all good.
That's
Feel
all
better,
good.
Kendra.
Look, listen, age, location, and a relationship status, and let us know your answer to the question.
I am 45. I am single. I've been married before, though. However, I do believe that things should be taught in the home. From growing up, I feel like nothing should be taboo, but it has been taboo when we were growing up, and that's why some of our children are what they are today. They have been raised without parents or in a single family home. And even if you do have a single family home, both parents or one or the other needs to teach the child in regards to how the Bible has it lined up, because that's why we're here, for God's purpose. This is one of the reasons why I love your platform, because you guys are bringing love back to the atmosphere, and everything starts with love. We got to teach our kids. They only know what they're being taught, which is also why I'm walking in my purpose in regards to creating a mentor program, because it has to start with the youth. And sometimes we are not being taught in the home, and the program is being created to teach everything from A to Z in regards to how we're supposed to live on this earth, the things that we should and should not be doing, and how to walk in God's path. Period. It's just nothing other than that. I will say that sometimes our children do get away from what's being taught in the household, and because of that, things can be put in a mass where they can question things. But I'm not going to be okay with saying that's okay if it's not in regards to what the Bible says.
Kendra, thank you so much for coming up and
Wow.
giving your perspective.
Yeah, I again, it's always like we're skipping a step. It's always like we're skipping a step, and I can't. And I'm hearing a resounding theme, and it's like, what makes this transition easy, seamless, natural, organic, is the man and woman being on the same page and being in the home and exemplifying what that looks like. It gets way more complicated when you got baby mamas, baby daddies, they're going back and forth to different houses. So the reason all of these other scenarios and concoctions we got to come up with is because a man and woman is not honoring their vow to be together for life and work things out and come in with a healthy reference towards each other and a respect towards God and committed to that. Because those things are not happening, now we got split homes. Now we got parents giving different views and different perspectives and different energy and bidding wars and trying to win kids. When all of that stuff happens, now you leave a child again left for interpretation to my feelings, to my thoughts, to my opinions, and that's where I go ahead. So my biggest flex is not that I got stuff. My biggest flex is me and my wife can stay together after 22 years. My biggest flex is that my kids was raised under the same leadership their entire life. That is the hardest thing to do in this world. All that other stuff anybody can do. But we are not conscious going in as a woman, as a man, are we doing this for life? Because our children are right behind us. It ain't even about us. As soon as you get married, it's not even about you no more. And I think we're talking about what the children need to interpret when they don't need to interpret anything if they're living under an example. So yeah, I want to just make sure that pretext was important, because when you don't have that, and that's why we have such a big discussion,
So
because everybody got these different type of households.